Hey there, it's Laura Dominic. Thanks for joining me on a Plan for Joy podcast. Each week we'll be talking about things that will help you break the cycle of depletion. You know, the one that has you going from doing all the things to feeling overwhelmed, frustrated, resentment, anger, to sucking it up and starting all over again. And instead, learn to break the cycle and contribute from a place of abundance. Are you ready? Good. Let's go. Hello, and welcome to A Plan for Joy. I am going to start this episode off with a bang, okay? I'm going to just say it. I don't know about you, but there's a lot of serious stuff going on in the world right now, and I am so glad that I have my faith to carry me through it. I don't know how I'd have gotten through all of the major crises that we've had in our lives without my faith. And I don't know how people who don't have faith get through their major crises. I mean, seriously, I just don't know what I would do without it. In the past month and a half, 2 months, we've had 2 family members die suddenly, one of which was, after about 30 minutes, revived, totally miraculous. But she's in for the long haul, a lot of rehab, and nobody's certain yet what the outcome's going to be. I mean, it is a miracle, but it's a long, hard road. We've had a friend of our family, a 30-year-old woman, diagnosed with cancer. She's doing great, by the way, so that's good news. We've had a neighbor get diagnosed with a rare form of cancer, and we just went to the wake of a friend's husband who committed suicide. Okay, horrible things. And I'm on the outside circle of a lot of those, but let's face it, it brings you to your knees when you have to deal with all of those different things going on. And what it does to me is it makes me kind of always look around my shoulder like, okay, when's that next shoe going to drop? What's going to happen next? Who's it going to be this time? And you know what? We can't live that way. I know that I can't live that way because it just amplifies anxiety, something terrible. We can't live our lives waiting for the next bad thing to happen, because you know what is going to happen? Bad things, right? No, our brain and the reticular activating system that we have is going to be happy to oblige us. If all we're thinking about is, oh, when is it going to happen? When's it going to happen? What bad thing is going to happen next? Then our reticular activating system will continue to let all of that information into our brains that corresponds to what we're thinking. So we'll see and we'll notice more bad things happening. It's not that there aren't good things happening. It's just that our brain's like, oh, well, you're thinking about bad things, so I'm just going to make sure you notice all of the bad things. Okay. And that is absolutely no way to live. That's where I think a solid prayer life comes in. I went to Mass this morning, and today's readings were about Jesus being the vine and we are the branches. And in his homily, Father said that it is essential to remain connected to the vine. And in today's gospel, it also says, without me, you can do nothing. So why is it? I mean, if we know these things, why do we distance ourselves from Christ? And it's not that we're doing it intentionally. In most cases, it's probably more subtle. I'm going to sleep in this morning because I'm so tired. And then I end up getting up late and rushing around. So there's no time to start my day with prayer. And this is an everyday occurrence. Or we stay up too late at night. Yeah. I'll pray tonight instead. And then we stay up too late because, you name it. There's all kinds of reasons why we do it. And we're too exhausted at the end of the day. So we fall into bed and fall asleep. We don't make a conscious effort throughout the day to recollect ourselves or to say a quick prayer, things are going too fast paced. We don't we don't remember, really, is what it comes down to. A lot of times, okay, we're just going to skip meal prayers. We don't have enough time to eat as it is, and the kids are crabby, and we need to just hurry up and do it. But so you get what I'm talking about. It's not that we're saying we don't want to pray. We really do want to pray. We wish we had this beautiful, ideal world where we had all kinds of time to pray. It's just that our lives are crazy and we don't have that kind of time, right? So what if our lives would be less crazy if we made time to pray? Okay, fine. They still might be crazy, but I bet we'd feel more at peace if we made a conscious effort to have some kind of a prayer life. So I was reading this book. We took a brief vacation. My husband and I was reading a book, and in the book was the story about Charles Schwab in the 1900s. And he was talking about the greatest advice he was ever given. He was told by Ivy Lee, who was a management consultant, that at the end of every workday, Charles should sit down and write out a list of all the things he needed to do the next day. Then he should number these items in order of their real importance. Then the first thing the next day, he should start working on the item in the most important number 1 position and not stop working on it until it was completed. And then he should go to the number 2 item, and he should work on that item until it was completed, and so on and so on. So Charles agreed to do it, and he ended up going back to Lee and telling him that that was the most profitable principle he had ever learned in his entire business career. So what if we did that, right? What if we had a plan like that? What would our number 1 priority be? Well, what it should be is God and our long-term goal of getting to heaven and bringing in as many people with us as we can, right? God's got to be number 1. And if we cling to that vine, the vine of Jesus, and make our relationship with him our number 1 priority, there would be a noticeable difference in our lives as well as in the world. Could you imagine if even half the people out there made God a priority every day in their life? Unbelievable. I'm sure you know this, and I'm sure you've heard this and thought it and felt it and all those kinds of things. But the question is, why don't we do it? What is the reason we come up with for why we don't do it? We have our priorities mixed up. We lack accountability. There's nobody kind of looking over our shoulder telling us we really need to do this. There's a lack of planning. Maybe we just don't even remember. It's like every 6 months we're like, oh, I forgot I was going to pray. Maybe we're just so exhausted and overwhelmed that the only prayer we can keep saying is, God help me, right? And those are just a few reasons that we give for not making prayer and our conversation with God a priority in our lives. I mean, we have to have this relationship with him. So what if I told you that the very first thing we're going to learn and practice in the new membership community I'm starting called Moms Finding Joy, that's our official name now, yay, was prayer, because it is the foundation of everything and it's so important. And so we're going to spend the whole month of June, the month of the Sacred Heart, which is appropriate, learning about prayer. We're going to be talking about prayer. We're going to be sharing experiences about our prayer life, things that work, things that don't work, struggles we have. And then throughout the month, through all of this sharing and community work that we're going to be doing, you're going to build a plan that works just for you, because my prayer life isn't going to work for you and yours isn't going to work for me, more than likely, right? It has to be individualized. It has to work for us or we're not going to stick to it. And so we each need to come up with a prayer routine that works for us. And then we need to hold each other accountable so that we stick to it. And that's what community, or this community, does. It's Catholic mothers working together, sharing experiences, building each other up, because it's going to be a positive space, and holding each other accountable. You're going to be amazed at what you can accomplish when you're in a community like this one. If you're tired of making excuses, even though they're legit excuses, I'm not discounting any of those excuses. I have used them all myself at one time or another. But if you're tired of making excuses and you want some real help and accountability to finally jumpstart your prayer life, and you don't want to wait for something horrible to happen in your life so that you put that as your number one priority, then I want to make sure that you're signed up to join the community by June 1st, because that is when we're going to start focusing on prayer. The first 2 weeks, these last 2 weeks of May, are just getting people in and getting them introducing themselves to each other, and just maybe sharing some stories and answering questions so we can get to know each other. And then June 1st, we start running out of the gate, learning how to set up our own prayer routine, something that works for us, and then just holding each other accountable to actually doing it, and the joy, finding joy, the joy that a good prayer life and a good prayer routine can bring. So I will link in the show notes, or if you're on YouTube, in the description box below, so that you can go check out the basic information for Moms Finding Joy, and then you can sign up, because you are going to be amazed at the transformation. I can just feel this. I am so excited. This is going to be an amazing community made up of amazing women who are ready for transformation. You're just done with the cycle of depletion. You're done with the overwhelm. You're done with the excuses. You are going to take charge of what needs to change in your life, and you're going to get radical transformation because of the community that's there to back you up and build you up and hold you accountable. But you have to sign up, right? Because a community isn't a community without other women in it. So I am so looking forward to meeting you in this space and working together with you. It's just really going to be amazing. And I'm so excited to start with prayer, because I know how important it is. And I know that we all need it. And I know that we all could benefit from a deeper relationship with Jesus Christ in whatever form that takes. If all you do is spend 5 minutes because you only spent 0 minutes, then that's an improvement in your prayer life. If you're already spending 5 minutes and you want to move to maybe 15 minutes, beautiful. There is no judgment here on what a perfect prayer life looks like. It's one that you can stick to. That's the one that's going to work for you. So I'm excited. This week, I want you to action steps. I want you to start thinking about your own prayer life. Where is it lacking? Where would you like to see it, better? That kind of thing. What kind of things would you like to have in your prayer life? And then go and sign up so that you're there to join us on June 1st when we get rocking and rolling with this amazing community, Moms Finding Joy, because that is the goal we're going for. Kicking that overwhelm out, getting rid of the cycle of depletion, and living a life with a full toolbox of things, because the overwhelm is still going to be there. Right? That's a given. But you need tools. You need tools to nip it in the bud and be able to find the joy that really does exist in everyday life. So go ahead and like this video, share it with other mothers who would love a community like this, who need a better prayer life, who are looking for accountability and camaraderie. I don't know if that's the right word. camaraderie ship. I don't know. And then go ahead and sign up. Moms Finding Joy. I will see you there. And I will see you again here next week. God bless.